many armed teachers would it have taken to stop the Columbine shooting? I understand that that is an uncomfortable, perhaps even offensive question to some. But with powerful people, including our president, wanting to arm teachers to stop school shootings, it's an important question. Let me rephrase it. How many United States Marines would it have taken to stop the Columbine shooting? I asked Daniel Riley, who went to Columbine and then went into the Marines and on to Iraq and Afghanistan, where he lost his legs to an IED. While a lot of people argue politics, Riley looks at this scenario through a tactical lens.
I went to Columbine and I know pretty well the campus, and based on how I've seen tactical deployments and protections in Iraq or Afghanistan, my guess, 24 armed trained Marines if you wanted to successfully stop anybody from dying.
Daniel Riley says you would need all of those Marines to cover the entrances and to overwhelm the school shooter's element of surprise.
You can't expect a school shooter. That's why it's so surprising, is that they're kids. They look like every other student. And that element of surprise that the shooter would have over an armed guard of some sort in the school doesn't leave a lot of room for error.
If we are going to continue to talk about this practically, tactically, Riley says the firefight at Columbine would have happened in the cafeteria.
We know the Columbine killers, they had pipe bombs. So that adds smoke, that adds noise, distractions. The kids, other students are running, they're hiding, they're moving around. It's a kinetic and confusing environment.
Even with Marine Corporal Riley's combat experience, he's wary.
I wouldn't bet on my ability to be 100%, to not catch somebody in a crossfire.
In that envisioned scenario, he worries about bullets going through walls and doors into places where students are hiding.
Combat is chaos, and ultimately by arming school teachers or putting armed guards into a school, you're creating a combat zone, which we can put aside for the fact that is that what we want as a culture for in our schools. It just doesn't seem practical to me.
He doesn't fault the instinct to arm teachers, but again, speaking practically, tactically, here is this Marine's view.
I understand why people want to say they want to help, but if you think it through, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know how much more to say. It just seems like insanity to me.
In the last few weeks, Riley has joined with some other veterans who are pushing for gun reform. He told me he's not anti-gun. He relied on guns in war, but he says that he thinks that changes to gun laws provide the best chance to stop more school shootings. I also caught up today with Aaron Starks, the man from Colorado whose confession that he was almost a school shooter in the 1990s has now been seen by millions of people since it first aired on Next Monday. Aaron's plea for people to reach out to alienated students with kindness has been widely celebrated, but he's also faced critics who think he's just looking for attention. When you came forward as just Joe Q. Public with a story to tell, did you know that there would be people, though, who would attack you for what you said?
Oh, absolutely.
And would try to discredit you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they would. They would attack everything that I would say. They would say that I'm trying to get fame or I'm trying to ban guns or whatever they think my message is trying to be. But I'm prepared for it. I'm comfortable with who I am. This is just my life. This is my normal. This is what I've lived with my entire life, and I've spoken with it with my family forever. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm amazed and humbled by this response. I can't even imagine. I never thought that me talking about my darkest times could bring light to other people.
Tonight we are also hearing the voices of current school students who are juggling their work, social pressures, and a new fear of violence. I invite you to meet Sam, Robin, Maggie, and Rachel, high schoolers from Chatfield, Columbine, and Dakota Ridge.
We deserve a safe place to go to school.
The acts of violence that guns are causing directly affect us, and we should have a say in what affects us and what kills us. Well, we do, like they said, lockdown drills every year, and it's just normal for us. We know what to do exactly.
Growing up, straight from Columbine, I think it's just like we as kids have grown up with that mindset. Like, you can get killed when you go to school, or you can get killed anywhere.
After the Parkland shooting, I think we all had this kind of like this poll in our minds, and we just saw people that looked exactly like us. They had the same clothes, they were in classrooms that we were in, and they were laying dead on the floor. It's something that needs to be changed, and I think it's something that can be changed.
And we aren't trying to take away people's Second Amendment rights.
People can still have their guns. We just need to make sure that the people are mentally and physically capable of owning them responsibly.
I think schools also need to have better security, more police officers.
Being underage, we can't vote, and we are watching legislators who are way older than us, who are not affected by these laws.
I think it's definitely the adults' decision right now, and I hope that they realize how much it affects us.
We would like to continue to include a variety of students' perspectives with their parents' permission. You can email us next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag HeyNext. An update now on the effort to provide insurance to the families of state employees like troopers who were killed in the line of duty. A one-year benefits extension for the families of the fallen is a single vote now from the governor's desk. It would keep families from losing their insurance right after they lose a loved one. The bill would not apply to local police or sheriff's deputies. Those situations are handled on the local level. We continue to chronicle the political bromance of our Governor Hickenlooper, and Republican Governor John Kasich of Ohio, just so you aren't surprised if they end up on some kind of unity ticket for president. And today they rolled out their bipartisan plan for health care reform, and in it, Hickenlooper breaks from many fellow Democrats in supporting work requirements for Medicaid. RTD is looking to lower the cost of transportation for people on tight incomes, but that means that others may soon pay more. Our Steve Steger gives us a sneak peek at a plan that's going before RTD leadership next week.
This plan suggests adding 2 new passes, one for riders with lower incomes, another for kids. First, the low-income pass. The working group is considering discounting fares 40 to 50% for people whose incomes are at 185% of the federal poverty level or lower. And the agency would expand its nonprofit program. The youth pass would discount fares 70% for kids ages 6 to 19. The current discount for that age group is 50%. It also might allow kids 12 and younger to ride for free with an adult. Currently, kids 5 and younger can do that. But in order to offer these discounts, RTD would likely have to make other changes. The financial calculations the group has been working with include possible increases to basic fares. Those calculations increase cash fares by about 15% across the board, including a $1.50 increase to ride the A line to the airport. RTD's board would have to approve the changes to passes and, in turn, changes to fares.
So that group is expected to recommend that RTD keeps its EcoPass, neighborhood EcoPass, and college pass. There would likely be price changes to those passes. Now, again, this is just a recommendation. RTD continues to stress it could change. The leadership at RTD and the elected board would have the final say on any changes to passes and any changes to fares. RTD takes a look at its fare structure every 3 years, and this is the year that they are due to make an adjustment. The last time they did it, 2015, which were rates or fares that took effect in 2016, so we'd be looking ahead to 2019, and none of these past changes would happen until then, too.
People still have the chance to be heard on this, not
Yes.
final. All right, thank you, Steve. CDOT's computer system continues to be held for ransom. This is day 3 now since a ransomware attack infected our state's transportation agency. The hostage takers here want Bitcoin. The state swears it has never paid ransom for ransomware and won't pay it this time. Right now, CDOT says the virus has been quarantined. There is work that has had to be moved offline, basically to pen and paper, and they warned us today it will be a while before CDOT's computer systems are restored. The Broncos, they don't have a starting quarterback and they don't have a name on their stadium, but they are upgrading how we will get tickets to see a QB TBD in a stadium IDK. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
The Broncos announced a change for 2018. No, this is not a Kirk Cousins story. This is about how you'll go watch Kirk Cousins play next year. Okay, I really don't know if he's going to be the quarterback. This story is really about the Broncos going to mobile-only ticketing. That means this is what your ticket will look like. It's a QR code. You'll no longer be able to print tickets at home. If you don't have a smartphone, you can pay $5 for a security-like card where your tickets will be loaded onto. The Broncos are the first sports team in town to go digital only, but it's only a matter of time. Why? Because it cracks down on scalping, fraud, and the team can better track who's really using the tickets. There are really only 3 ways to get into a venue: mobile app, printed home tickets, which could also be shown on your phone, or old school, actual tickets in your hand. We checked with the 5 major sports teams in the metro area. The Broncos are on an island. The Rockies offer all 3. The Avs, Nuggets, and Rapids are the same. Mostly app only. You can't print tickets at home, and hard tickets are available only if you go to the box office. CU and CSU offer all 3, though CSU students have to use their student ID card. DU Hockey also accepts all 3, except DU students are mobile app only. Last year, Red Rocks announced it's going mobile only. That starts May 15th, though for a fee, you can sometimes get hard copies of tickets. Fiddler's Green is not changing its methods. You can do it online, print at home, or get tickets. And the DCPA does not have an app. It's print at home or actual tickets, except Hamilton, the Book of Mormon, and Les Mis are actual in-your-hand tickets only. For next, I'm kind of Marshall Zellinger.
Thanks, Bit Marshall. It's been 1 year since the video on Next that rocked our world and rocked another unsuspecting car live on camera. You know what I'm talking about. That and one family's unique Olympic tradition. No athletic skill needed. Next.
Still waiting on the snow ban to move into the metro area, or maybe not. Be nice to get the evening drive underway and over with before the snow that's up in the high country pushes out across the Front Range tonight. It's been a chilly day, but we did get above freezing today. Our high at 34, we're down to 25 with a wind chill of 13. Now, the snow is starting to pick up in Fort Collins, also in Boulder, areas under a winter weather advisory until tomorrow morning for about 2 to 5 inches of snow. The mountain snow machine is on. We'll be looking at another 6 to 12 inches of snow by midday on Sunday with this next system rolling through. One low after 2, just 1, 2, 3. They're just lined up out there. So a cold, unsettled pattern that will mean a little light snow in Denver tonight, more heavy mountain snow tomorrow, and then by midday tomorrow, some sunshine for the Front Range. And finally, we'll start to inch out of the deep freeze. So we'll break it down for you tonight. An inch or so of snow between now and midnight, a low of 14. Tomorrow, high temperatures close to 40. A dry day after the fog and cloud cover move out around 10 a.m. Mid-40s on Sunday, low 50s Monday, close to that Tuesday. Next storm and next chance for snow will be on Wednesday. But so far, so good in the city for the drive this Friday night.
Kathy, thank you. 1 year ago today, the Target Rock claimed one of its final victims. Never forget. We were Facebook streaming the Rock at the Colorado Mills Target in Lakewood when another car ended up going for an unexpected climb. It was that catching that common occurrence on camera, I think, that spurred the removal of the Rock. This poor lady and her mishap went internet wild. It's been watched more than 200,000 times. The Rock was removed. It's now in retirement on the other side of the parking lot. The most Colorado thing we saw today, just a T-Rex working out at Red Rocks Amphitheater, like all of us other folks. A former Niner, Heidi McGuire, remember her? She spotted this earlier in the week. Too good not to share. My favorite part is how all these other people, for the most part, are just kind of like, they're ignoring the T-Rex. A few people are interested in the push-ups, but people are just like, you know what? You do you, T-Rex. Here in a moment, Black Panther through the eyes of some young Coloradans, and a family using the Olympics as a delicious learning lesson. Next. It's clear Black Panther is more than a movie. It's inspiring young people who see heroes who look like them. The Boys and Girls Club in Denver's Cole neighborhood rented out an entire theater so the movie could be seen by 100 kids and their families.
So my staff and I came up with the idea of doing a movie night for the families, and it was just one particular movie that stood out to us, and it was the Black Panther.
Black Panther.
We went to go see the Black Panther, and it was dope.
My name is Serenity, and I am 12 years old.
My name is Kiari, and I'm 9 years old.
Stephen Rowland Jr. I'm the site director of the Cole Boys and Girls Club.
It was like
really cool.
Mine Explosion.
My name is Zachariah Kern. I play defensive line for the Denver Broncos.
But I never knew that a Denver Bronco player would be coming here and a whole lot of stuff. It was really cool.
It was just cool to get to kick it with them, and I wanted to do that anyway, just to show them that somebody other than their parents do care about it.
Empowerment through the Black Panther, meaning seeing a film that people look like them, people that are doing the right thing. Even in the film, it showed a little bit of kind of rough communities, and that's the kind of community our students come from. And I think them seeing those things with their eyes, not only seeing Broncos players and staff that look like them, that do the right thing every day, but also seeing something on the screen makes a big difference.
I have to say Black Panther's sister is my favorite.
Especially our young girls. I was impressed with the movie with the female warriors as well, how they handled their business, and a lot of them did it without the male's help.
Well, it inspired me a lot because I like making things like tech and stuff, and I really like how she likes tech. And also, just like she's a younger sister, and I am too.
When it comes to kids that are not of color, I think it's just empowering in general.
I mean, I think that's important as well, just to show the kids that, you know, having a diverse community isn't a bad thing at all.
What did his struggles teach you?
Never give up.
There is nothing more American than watching athletes burn calories while consuming a ton of them yourself. But I love what One Next watching families decide to do during the Olympics. Each night, they enjoy a different meal from a different country participating in the games. Kristen Smith fed her family 14 meals from around the world. China, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Greece, Switzerland, USA, Sweden, India, Norway, Great Britain, Japan, France, and Korea. Sorry about Great Britain, kids. The kids who are 12 and 10 didn't love everything, but Kristen said they did have fun learning and trying some different things. They've already asked for this to continue during the next Olympic Games. It is Friday, so that means that your good news has the final word. Next. It's Friday. What's your good news?
My good news is that here at the United Church of Montbell, we have a scholarship program where we take the kids to colleges in the summer so they can get to see what the college life is like.
My good news is, as a teacher, I see the next generation who is willing to fight for what they believe in and really willing to rally around a cause, and it's just been incredibly encouraging with all the tragedies in the world that our students are ready to come together and help lead this next generation.
My good news, this is like the best field trip ever. And we literally went into the Capitol building. On to Zoe. My good news is I got a puppy. Our puppy's name is Oscar. And my good news of the day is that I got to pet 2 horses and they were police horses. Okay, so my good news is we are kids from Red Rocks Elementary in 3rd grade, and we are going on a field trip, which is probably one of the best ones I've ever been on since ever. And a kid, huh? Yeah.
Everybody has good news. It's just the amount you have.
This is our secret handshake, but now it's not. That is our secret handshake.
Yeah, we just made it
you.
up right here.
Yeah.
Feedback now. On the issue of arming teachers, Andres Arrieta emails, wonder if the assistant football coach in Florida wished he had a gun to protect his students rather than his body. Andres, understand the temptation to look back at a school shooting and select one heroic employee that we'd like to stop time and arm in retrospect, just like everybody would like to go back and kill baby Hitler. Let's instead look at the issue of arming teachers practically. How many guns, how many teachers, how would it work? Let's look at it through a scientific approach, not emotionally. Study the pros and cons and make a decision that way. We'll see you next time.